Hey, Pittsburgh Steelers fans. You won't believe the golden opportunity that just landed in our franchise's lap. While chaos takes over Buffalo, Pittsburgh might be on the brink of finally resolving the issue that has plagued us for years. And the best part is that it could cost us almost nothing. Stay until the end, because I'm going to reveal explosive information that completely changed the future of a young talent in the league. And spoiler, he might be wearing black and gold very soon. And of course, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. It's just one click, it's quick, and it's all I ask. The 2026 season promises to be historic for us Steelers fans. For the first time in almost 2 decades, we are experiencing a complete overhaul of the team's structure. The departure of Mike Tomlin has opened the doors to a new era, and honestly, that's what we've been asking for a long time. I won't lie, it's a bit painful to see Tomlin leave after everything he did for the franchise, but it's time to turn that page. Now, with a practically new coaching staff taking control, we have the chance to rebuild everything from scratch. And when I say everything, I mean everything, from the playing style to the team composition. Speaking of roster, that's the point that worries me the most, and should worry you too. It doesn't matter if we have the best coach in the world if the players on the field aren't delivering results. The last few seasons have made this very clear. We had some interesting pieces, it's true, but we lacked consistency in crucial positions. Omar Khan, our general manager, has been doing a solid job since he took over, being aggressive in the market and bringing in important names. But we are still paying the price for the weak drafts from the Kevin Colbert era, which left gaps in our roster. Khan needs to keep being smart with his choices, especially now that we have 7 picks for the 3rd day of the upcoming draft. And here comes the most interesting part of this whole story. There's a specific position that has haunted us for years, and you know very well what it is: wide receiver. No matter how hard we've tried to solve this problem, we still haven't found the definitive solution. We need players who make a difference, who open up space, who are reliable in decisive moments. And guess what? An incredible opportunity might be arising right under our noses, coming from one of our AFC rivals. The Buffalo Bills are going through a real internal earthquake, and this could be our big chance to fish in troubled waters. The situation in Buffalo is completely out of control, and I'm not exaggerating one bit. Sean McDermott, the coach who led the Bills to several consecutive playoffs, was recently fired, and everything suggests that the separation was much more complicated than it seems. On Wednesday, General Manager Brandon Beane and franchise owner Terry Pegula held a press conference, and that's when things got really strange. Pegula made public statements that left everyone in shock, especially when the topic turned to Keon Coleman, the wide receiver they chose with the first pick of the 2nd round in the 2024 draft. What he said basically threw the player under the bus. Pegula went straight to the point and stated that McDermott's coaching staff pressured for Coleman to be selected. According to the owner, Beane wasn't entirely convinced of that choice, but followed the recommendation of the coaching staff as a good team player. Pegula wanted to make it clear that Beane received unfair criticism for the choice of Coleman, when in fact the decision came from the coaches. This is absolutely surreal, people. A franchise owner throwing a player from his own roster under the bus publicly? You don't see that every day in the NFL. And what's more interesting is that Pegula did this precisely to defend Beane, who received a contract extension and a raise on the same day McDermott was fired. Now think about it. If the owner of the team is openly saying that the player wasn't the general manager's choice, what does that mean for Coleman's future in Buffalo? Exactly what you're thinking. His days with the Bills are numbered. And here's the golden opportunity for Pittsburgh. Coleman may not have shined in his 2 seasons in Buffalo, even sitting out some games due to coaching decisions, but that doesn't mean he lacks talent. Sometimes a player just needs the right environment to thrive, and our team could be exactly what he needs to showcase his full potential. Coleman's situation in Buffalo is similar to ours regarding wide receivers. They have also struggled to find consistent players in that position, and Coleman simply hasn't justified his position as the 33rd overall pick in the draft. But here's the detail that changes everything. After Pegula's public comments, Coleman's market value plummeted. Buffalo can't demand much for him after exposing the situation this way. They've basically admitted that the player was a mistake of the former coaching staff, and now they need to get rid of him quickly to move forward with the new coach. And this is where Omar Khan needs to take action. Coleman still has 2 years left on his rookie contract, meaning it would be a low financial risk acquisition. Furthermore, with the Bills desperate to turn the page, we could likely make a trade for very little. Remember I mentioned we have 7 picks for the 3rd day of the draft? Some of those picks would be more than enough to bring Coleman to Pittsburgh. Depending on how the market looks, maybe even a single pick could resolve the situation. It would be practically for free, considering we're talking about a player who was chosen early in the 2nd round, just 2 years ago. Think about the strategy behind this. We would bring in a young wide receiver with 2 years of guaranteed contract for a fraction of what he would normally cost. Coleman would have the chance to restart in a new environment. Away from the pressure and toxic situation that developed in Buffalo, our new coaching staff could work with him from the ground up, developing his potential the right way. And if it works out, we would have solved one of our biggest problems while spending very little. If it doesn't work, the financial risk is minimal due to the rookie contract. It's one of those situations where we practically have nothing to lose. Of course, there's the human side to this whole story. Coleman is a player who has seen his name dragged through the mud publicly by the owner of his own franchise. That must have greatly affected his confidence, and any athlete needs confidence to perform at the highest level. But precisely because of that, a change of scenery could make all the difference. In Pittsburgh, he would have the opportunity to prove that everyone was wrong about him, to show that the issue wasn't his talent, but rather the situation in Buffalo. This kind of motivation can completely transform a player. We've seen this happen many times in the NFL. Before continuing, I need you to do one thing for me. If you're enjoying this exclusive analysis and want to stay updated on all the Steelers' moves during this crucial offseason, subscribe to the channel now. This isn't just a random request. Let me explain why. We're entering the most important phase of our franchise in almost 20 years, and there will be blockbuster news every day. I'll bring you all the behind-the-scenes information, all the analyses, everything you need to know before anyone else. And there's more. Anyone who subscribes and leaves a comment saying which position you think the Steelers should prioritize this offseason will enter a special giveaway that I'll announce next week. So hurry up, subscribe, turn on the notification bell, and leave your comment. Back to Coleman. There's another aspect that needs to be considered. The fact that he didn't stand out in Buffalo doesn't necessarily mean a lack of skill. Several factors may have contributed to his below expectations performance. The chemistry with the quarterback, the offensive scheme, the way the coaches used him. All of this influences a wide receiver's performance. In Pittsburgh, with a new coaching staff coming in, he would have the chance to start fresh in a system that may fit his characteristics better. And let's face it, anything would be better than the current situation in Buffalo, where even the team owner doesn't believe in him. The window for making this type of negotiation is open now. Buffalo will want to resolve Coleman's situation quickly, before the draft and the start of free agency. They won't want this story to continue generating negative headlines and distracting the team during preparations for the upcoming season. The sooner they negotiate Coleman, the sooner they can turn the page and focus on rebuilding the roster in the way the new coach wants. And this totally plays in Pittsburgh's favor. We can use their urgency to our advantage to secure an even better deal. Khan has already shown that he isn't afraid to make bold moves. He's been aggressive in various situations since taking over as general manager, and this should be yet another one of those opportunities where he takes a risk. The risk is minimal, the cost is low, and the potential return is high. If Coleman develops well here, we would have resolved one of our biggest weaknesses for almost nothing. If it doesn't work out, we lose just a late draft pick, which is perfectly acceptable considering the situation. It's the kind of bet any smart general manager should make without a second thought. Another thing that excites me about this possible trade is the timing. We're at the beginning of a completely new cycle, with a new coach, new philosophy, everything new. Coleman would arrive alongside everyone, without the weight of having to prove himself immediately. He would have time to adapt, to learn the system, to build chemistry with his teammates. He wouldn't be thrown into the fire like he was in Buffalo, where the expectations were enormous because he was a high draft pick. Here, he would be just another piece in the puzzle, with the pressure spread among several new players. We can't forget that Coleman is still very young. He has only 2 seasons in the NFL, and we know that wide receivers often take a bit longer to fully develop. Many of the best receivers in the league took a few years to really break out. Giving Coleman a second chance in a better environment could reveal the player that the Bills thought they were drafting. And if that happens, Omar Khan will look like an absolute genius for taking advantage of the mess in Buffalo to make an excellent deal.